not a single sentence that Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes that is irrelevant. Everything is creating such a picture of pure devotion for our journey, our progress.
Chapter 1, Part 3. This compilation presents the following select clips.
All our lives, then we're going to lose that connection. Krishna will give us the mercy to experience different spiritual states. All the bhaktas will get mercy. But if you try to run back into your material, apparent, secure shelter of material thinking, then you're going to lose that. That's why courage is called for on this path. Courage and conviction. Bhaktivedanta Thakur is talking about faithful. Where is our faith? Is our faith more planted in this material world? We get a realization of some spiritual concept. Oh, no, that's too high. Let me run back to mummy. Let me run back to my home life, you know? Let me run back to that mentality like a baby. Right? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, it happens like that. So we have to have courage. And if we have association, then of course it's a lot easier to stay in those higher stages of consciousness. And then we'll go to a higher stage still, etc., etc. These types of experiences, they have an effect in the ether, without a doubt. It's like if you visit the yog pit, for example, and you place your head in front of the deities. If you're at all sensitive, you can sense the potency of that place. That was where the Supreme Lord appeared. There's a power there, like almost a magnetic pull on the consciousness. In the yog pit, when you bow down, offer obeisances there, that land was the place of Mahaprabhu's advent. So all his Shaktis, everything came to that land. These are eternal Shaktis. They have an effect on the environment. Don't doubt it. They have a tangible effect on the spiritual life. Is reality. We're so convinced and hardened. Not challenging tadvidi pranipatena pranipashena sevaya. This verse my Gurudev was quoting. Don't come with a challenging mentality. How can you challenge the supreme absolute truth? That means you think you're better than the truth. Of course, the arrogance of any type of material success will obstruct us. If we think we've made some type of material progress, that I'm a very erudite scholar perhaps, that's even material progress, because it's comparing to other people. Our path is not about scholarship. Our path is about devotion. Devotion in the heart. This is what it's about. You have to have confidence that you are capable of acquiring these higher states of consciousness. I can remember personally in my own life when I first came to my Gurudev, he told me repeatedly all the time, oh, you are most qualified, you are most qualified. He kept on, I didn't feel qualified even to pick up anything, to do anything. But he kept on this reassuring mood. You are qualified for this path. Don't doubt it. Take inspiration from my words to you. You're qualified. He kept saying that again and again. So each individual soul has a different need for different encouragements in different areas. But this idea of having the confidence to consider that I'm a fit candidate. So Babaji is saying, you are a fit candidate. So whatever I'm going to say to you, I have the respect that you will understand what I'm going to say. So he'll speak to him the topmost knowledge, having said that he has respect for Sannyasi Thakur's erudition and his ability to control his senses. These two things. Prabhu, for a long time I have heard of the preeminence of Dharma. On numerous occasions I have asked the question, what is Dharma? To so many people, it is a cause of distress to me that the answers those people have given contradict each other. So please tell me, what is the true constitutional Dharma of the Jiva? And why do different teachers explain the nature of Dharma in such diverse ways? If Dharma is one, why don't all learned teachers cultivate that one universal Dharma which is without a second? So how many religions are there on the planet? How many individuals propounding their way is the best? You know, they fight about it. They kill each other for it, for their imagined understanding of what is Dharma. But there is Sanatan Dharma, which is eternal. So this is what this is going to unpack and unfold. I hope you've all understood the question very, very clearly. What is Dharma? And why are there so many different opinions concerning Dharma? If Dharma is one, why does everyone argue about the nature of Dharma? So think about the question, please. We are transcendental vessels that can receive transcendental mercy from above. If we invoke that mercy in a sincere way, if we chant prayers, we always chant Mangalacharyan prayers before we begin, invoking the mercy of our Guru Vargya to allow me to be your instrument, not my own greatness. Such a distinction. And many times the devotees fall into the trap of considering that, yes, they know so much, they've read so much, they know so much. But that's unfortunate, because then they're not depending on Krishna for the knowledge. Because every single question we're ever asked, in practically every instance, we've never heard it quite like that before. I can remember when I was traveling for many years, so many questions would come each day. And every single question had to be addressed individually. From whose heart is this question coming from? You should never ask a question because you've heard that someone else has a doubt. That person who might have a doubt has to ask the question themselves. If you try and represent somebody else asking a question, you're not going to get the real answer. There's going to be some obstruction in the flow. But if you have the question from your heart, then it can be cleared. You understand that? Meditated upon the lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Krishna Chaitanya and began to speak. O most fortunate one, I shall describe to you the principles of Dharma as far as my knowledge allows. Now, listen carefully. An object is called a vastu. Don't become confused about the vocabulary here. You have to write down perhaps 10 or 12 words to understand the language that he's going to speak. Don't think that the Sanskrit is going to cover the meaning of what Bhaktivinoda Thakur wants. There was another edition of Jaiva Dharma, and that before we had this one, and that translator had tried to translate all the Sanskrit terminologies, and it was so difficult to understand. I couldn't understand what he was saying, because when we get the Sanskrit terminology, like an object is called a vastu, and if we learn what a vastu is, there's no other word that means the same as vastu. So when we hear this term vastu and we use that terminology, it opens up a whole appreciation of the meaning of that. But if you try to translate it, it's going to be a shortfall. It's like with the Gayatri Mantras. If you try to give a translation of the Gayatri Mantras, you're going to try to fix them in a certain meaning. Those Gayatri Mantras are evolving in our consciousnesses daily. They're not fixed. It's like love itself is not fixed. It's always moving. It's always ecstatic. It's always growing. It's alive. So these mantras, they are alive. And if we try to restrict them to a specific meaning today, and a week later when we're chanting them, we're thinking, and the consciousness wants to go broader on the meaning, then, but we keep running back to what was written down about the meaning. My Gurudev was very clear about this. Once I tried to write, because so many devotees would not hear the Gayatri Mantras correctly. So I wrote down a whole sort of translation of all of them, and I gave it to my Gurudev and said, can I send this out for people to focus more on their Gayatri Mantras? And my Guru said, never. You do like this and they'll think that forever this is the meaning of the mantra. This might be the meaning of the mantra for a year or two, but then the mantra has to evolve in our depth and appreciation of it. Understand? It has to grow. So like this, with these various terminologies, try to understand them in the Sanskrit vocabulary. A vastu can't be broken down. A vastu is like an element. An element can't be broken down further than its elemental makeup. So a vastu also can't be broken down. You understand? Nature arises from the elementary structure of an object, ghatana. The elementary structure of an object, like nature, like you take a ball, for example. It has a dharma. The dharma of a ball is to roll. So its structure is round. Try to understand what it's saying deeply. There are many examples, but I should read on a bit more. By Krishna's desire, when an object is formed, a particular nature is inherent in that structure as an eternal concomitant factor. Just like the ball, for example. Its inherent nature to roll is built into its structure. This nature is the nitya dharma of the object. It's the eternal nature of that object. The nature of a given object becomes altered or distorted when a change takes place within it, either by force of circumstances or due to contact with other objects. This is the reason why there are so many contradictions on the meaning of dharma, because people have distorted their impression of what dharma means. They haven't understood the essential nature of dharma, therefore they've interpreted according to their own taste. It's like religions, for example, all over the planet. You know, they have different rituals and so on, according to the country traditional customs that are there. And they develop those ideas of religiosity according to their environment. They're not adhering to the one Dharma. The principal Dharma is to love God. That's the principal Dharma that we're talking about. But it becomes distorted to understand who is God or what is God. They misinterpret it because they're not understanding, they're not educated sufficiently. The nature of a given object becomes altered or distorted when a change takes place within it, either by force of circumstances or due to contact with other objects. With the passage of time, the distorted nature becomes fixed and appears to be permanent, like our consideration, I am this body. This is a distorted impression of my real identity. I am a spirit soul more than I am this body. My spirit soul is residing within this body. But because of this distortion, I've started to think that I am the body by association with the body. This will be explained. This distorted nature is not the Svabhava. Swa means own. Bhav means nature. Svabhava, my own nature. This distorted understanding is not my own nature. It's been influenced by something external. In this case, the glitter of the material attraction has crafted this enjoying body. This distorted nature is not the Svabhava, true nature. It is called Nisarga. This word we should know like we know the back of our hand, like we know the word prasadam. Nisarga is a beautiful word because it means the distorted conception of my identity. Nisha, through association with matter. It's become distorted. You'll give an example. That nature which is acquired through long-term association. We've been in these material bodies for unlimited billions of births. So we've got this impression that I am material. It's a big enterprise to actually purify this material condition. We have to work diligently at it. This Nisarga occupies the place of the factual nature and becomes identified as the Svabhava. Try to understand every sentence separately, and then you'll catch it. Now I really want to read this next part, this next example. For example, water is an object, and its Svabhava is liquidity, right? Yes. It's liquidity. When water solidifies due to certain circumstances and becomes ice, the acquired nature of solidity takes the place of its inherent nature, which is liquid. If we understand that water has consciousness, there's been many experiments to prove that water has consciousness. If you speak to water and you have scientific instruments, you can bring out the impression that your language to water will reflect back. One Japanese scientist, he's proved this. If you say war, then a certain kind of mandala will reveal it. If you say love, another whole warm mandala will be revealed. So water does most assuredly have consciousness. So if you ask this block of ice, what is your nature? He will tap it very, very hard. Oh, I am hard. I am hard. Because of this acquired nature to ice. For perhaps billions of years, it's been an iceberg. So it's thinking, I am ice. But if a warm current comes, again, it'll go back to its liquid form. It's real Dharma. So it's become distorted. And this distortion is called Nisarga. Try to remember this word. And becomes ice. The acquired nature of solidity takes place and its inherent nature. In reality, this acquired nature is not eternal. Rather, it is occasional or temporary. We're going to call it nimitic. It arises because of some cause. And when that cause is no longer effective, this acquired nature vanishes automatically. When it's not cold for the iceberg and it's warm, the Svabhava will naturally reassert itself and it'll come again to be liquid. This is the most sublime example that we can share with so many people. It arises because of some cause, and when that cause is no longer effective, this acquired nature vanishes automatically. However, the Svabhava is eternal. Yes, the nature is eternal. It's still there. It doesn't go away. It may become distorted, but it still remains inseparably connected to its object, and the original nature will certainly become evident again when the proper time and circumstances arise. In other words, our spirit soul will respond to spirit environment. This is why, for example, it's so beneficial to reside in the holy dhams, even for a day or two or a week or 3. And if we can organize our situations so we can reside here longer, because the effect of the environment, the spiritual environment, the impact on the consciousness will reveal and wake up our inherent Svabhava, which is only Jiva Surupoi Krishna Nityadas. The Svabhava of an object is its Nitya Dharma, eternal function. Svabhava and Nitya Dharma, remember these terms. While its acquired nature is its Naimitic Dharma, occasional function. Those who have true knowledge of objects, Vastu Gyan, we talked about Vastu before, can know the difference between eternal and occasional function, whereas those who lack this knowledge consider acquired nature to be true nature, and they consequently mistake the temporary dharma for eternal dharma. I find that completely conclusive. If you read it carefully, I think it will also find it completely, it's complete, this explanation. It doesn't really need any other embellishment. It's full.